Good morning, people. This is Sam, South Carolina Happy Bees, and it is July the 12th at about 9:30 here. Is humid, not very hot, but it's humid as hot. But anyway, this is hive number 115, which is that swarm that I caught out on the duck pond. So we're going to take a look, see at it today and see what it's doing. See if they're going to be friendly or not friendly. They're going to need food because remember they were cannibalizing their brood. We haven't been into it till the 23rd of last month. Got a lot of bees on the top. No queen walking on the top. When you pull the top off, you got bees up. You always look to see if there's a queen. Yes, I found a queen before crawling around on the top. We haven't been doing a whole lot of videos here lately because my right leg is still not functioning properly. No beetles. No beetles. No bugs. No food. Okay. These little girls just need to realize it. They're going to try to sting me and get upset that they don't get as much food. This is a honey frame over here, or super, or 6 5/8, or whatever you want to call it. How you know that without pulling it out, Sam? I got it marked from the top. And they are doing a little work, not much. You see, that's where it's marked on the top. And right here, they're building on it. We're going to stick it right there. This next one, we have a little bee here that wants to play. And I have a hole in my veil here, or not veil, but my mosquito net, bug net, fishing net, bug net. This one here's got honey and nectar. Honey and nectar. This is a 3 deep 8. They didn't want to build on the super frame, so I just put them in another box up here. Now this one here is a super frame, honey frame. This one here is a honey frame, super frame. This one here has nectar on it, has a little honey. See that top box is their honey box now. This one here, same thing. Same thing both sides. And I don't expect to see the queen up here because the queen normally lays up to 10 inches. That's why we use a double deep box. And if these girls don't start calming down a little bit, we're going to requeen them anyway. Yeah, this one here has brood. I don't see any eggs. It's probably eggs when I put it up there. So there's brood now, capped brood, both sides. No eggs, no brood. Now when that brood hatches out, they'll put honey in it. I hope. Next one here is a store-bought waxed super frame. And they're building it out now, finally. They're doing some building out here and on that side. And with the rain we're getting now, we should getting a honey flow if the plants hadn't burned out. But we've got the goldenrod. This in here, they're putting nectar in it. This is a super frame. Which they're working on a little bit. They're building it out a little, so they're getting ready for something. This next one here up against the wall, let me scrape a little bit of this off. Get rid of a little bit of that propolis. There we go. This one has some honey on it, some nectar. So, they're doing it with what they have. Stick it back in the hole. Get everything back the way it was. All that back over there, and we're going to set it down here where y'all can't see it. It's heavy. Okay, let's reset the camera. Oh, y'all can't see that box over there. A little bit closer here. Too close, Sam. There we go. Some people like it up close, some people like it spread out. And I don't really know. So we're going to start with this one. We're going to start with the right hand side. And I'm out here this morning early. Hopefully the bees are, the foragers are out trying to find something. This one here is one of our frames that we put together. They're fastooning right here, and that's when they're building foundation, so they're fixing to build foundation in this one. Now, we're, like I say, I don't like messing. Hold on a second. Let me get one of these frames from over here out, because I don't want to really disturb the construction workers very much. So So we're going to take this one out that they're not working on and stick it over here. Usually the queen will lay up about 10 inches. Excuse me, not 10 inches, 18 inches, which is up to here. And then they'll put a honey bound ring around it for feeding the babies. So the queen don't normally go any higher than this. And if she does, I let her. I don't use queen excluders. Okay, we got some eggs and some brood. And they're starting up for their fall swarm because they got some drones over here and they got eggs in it. Same thing on this side. Got a little queen cup up here we're going to remove. Okay, but to your left is drone cells and it has eggs in it. And then to your right has worker brood eggs. And then there's that 2-inch honey bound ring thing across the top. I had one of our beekeeping people watch this. They're going to move. They're trying to do something with a dead bee. Watchers. And he gave me a comment. And I appreciate the comments. And I appreciate his, because what he's trying to do, I think, is helping me. His name's Mike. And I appreciate his comment because he's trying to help me. And what he said was I wasn't communicating properly. Well, to Mike and the others that think that, I didn't go to college. I don't read all the big books. I did go to communication classes for a little bit when I was doing stuff that I had to pass, and I did. But when you're working with bees like this, communication is important. And for people to give me comments like that, I appreciate it, because it makes me better. It helps me. There's the yellow queen, and there she is. She's right in here. She's right here. Pretty queen. That was a baby on my finger. And that frame is loaded up with eggs and brood and larvae. So the communication y'all give me, the communication. I don't have a script to start with that I go by. And when you're doing bees, you don't know what's going to be on the next frame. This frame right here could be eaten up with wax moths. And when we get there, we'll tell you what we think about it. But anyway, thank you, Mike. Anybody else have any comments that can help me out, please let me know. This one here has eggs and larvae. This one here too, that's loaded up. All the bees are done hatched out. It's loaded up. And you can see this is little honey band right here. Sometimes they'll come up the side and they go around and they go down. And that's so they got the food handy. To do that. This one here has brood, eggs, larvae, nectar, and so does this one. And you see the little honey band across the top here? I don't know why I called it a band. Ribbon. So we'll start calling it honey ribbon. You notice we didn't keep the queen out very long, because if you keep them out, they get stressed out easy. And they're getting a little, there we go. The bigger a hive gets, the more aggressive they get. So they got more gang members. This is one that they're building. And it has eggs and larvae. See them doing all this fast tuning over here and down on the bottom here. And that frame was put in on the 23rd of last month. And that's a frame that I put together, and I used 20-pound fishing line. People ask about my they ask about how I build my frames and everything else. There's a video of that, about 2 years old now. This one here is laid up with brood, eggs and larvae, and a bunch of little babies running around. So on the bottom is fast tuning. We're just gonna cut them off right there. So see, this is why we double deep our boxes in the bottom. That way the queen, now she'll lay, if you put a deep box and put a super on top of that, they will lay into it, and that's not a bad idea to do in the fall. I didn't do it this year because of, the spring. I didn't do it this year because of the way the spring weather was. But if you do that, then they'll build out the supers, and when they start building out the supers and they get the bottom box filled out, we're going to stick this one here. No, we're not. We're going to put it back the way it was. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take this one off. And we're going to put it here. And they will build that out faster now because they don't like space. Bee space is 3/8 of an inch. And anything under 3/8, so the book says, they'll fill it with propolis or wax. Anything over 3/8 of an inch, they say they like to fill it up with propolis or wax. Oh, if you notice, there's no wax buildup on top of my frames either. And that's because, like I say, 3/8 of an inch. You got this, which is usually about 1/8 of an inch. Sometimes it's about 1/4. And then on the bottom, you've got a certain distance. And if you've got too much, then the bees are going to fill it in with burr comb. A lot of times I'll pull these boxes off, and I'll start at the bottom and work my way back. Didn't do it with this one. Why not, sir? Forgot. And we're going to go to the bottom and see what they're doing down there. People like close-ups. Okay, close up with the bee. We're going to give them a little puff smoke. This one is one that they can put honey in, because it's mostly drone brood, which is the big frame or the big cell. This one here is cells that she can lay in. It has some nectar on that side and frames on that side. So what we're going to do is flip that. Doesn't make a difference as long as it's not a fat frame. This one has nectar and honey. It'd be nice if they'd put some of this upstairs. And I was listening to one guy, he's pretty good. He said the way to get the the bees to build out the honey frame is to put it to where they can only go through the top, and that way they'll find out it's okay for them to go up here. That one's got nectar in it. Bottom's clean. So they've got plenty of room. This one here they're working on. That was put in there on the 23rd of last month. They just don't feel that they need that yet. This one's got nectar in it and pollen. Got nectar and pollen. Most of pollen here, and this is nectar over here. So they've got food. Now, y'all look back on some of the other ones with this hive, they were cannibalizing their babies because they didn't have any food. We had nothing. It was hot. Everything was burning up. This one here has some pollen. And there's pollen on that side. So this is a pollen frame, both sides. So they got food. And the reason I give them pollen the way I do is first, they need it. Second, they need it. And third, they don't always get the vitamins and stuff and the acids that they need from what may be growing, especially when you got a drought like we have. That one's pollen too. So, I give them pollen patty. So my pollen patties has got all that stuff in it that they need to grow and feed the babies. Now what they're going to do now, I have no idea, but they've got room to lay. And I could take some of these frames from up here and put down here, but I'm not going to do that. We're going to put the peppermint patties in here. People says, do they work? Well, I've had better luck I've had less beetles since I've used them. One guy asked me, I guess it was a guy, could have been a lady, asked me, does the honey taste like peppermint? I don't taste the peppermint and the honey. None of my customers have said anything about the peppermint and honey. I've asked some of them about the peppermint taste in the honey, and they all say the same thing. It has no taste of peppermint. You figure they make honey. A worker bee brings in her lifetime, in a good year, about 1/12 of a teaspoon to make honey with. So you figure these little peppermint patties doesn't have the flavor in 5 pounds of honey in a frame to really hurt anything. We're not going to put any on this one. And I buy my peppermint patties at Walmart. I get 3-pound bags for $1 a pound, something like that. Only $3 and something for a big bag. So I go there and I buy 2 or 3 bags at a time. And I use them. I eat them. My dog eats them. Y'all didn't see any in here, so that means the bees eat them too. One there. Put one there. We're going to give them a little bit of pollen, just in case. They saving that pollen for the winter time too. Same thing as you do when you got money in a bank account. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Unless you have a government like we have, and our government's okay. Politicians are killing us. Politicians like we have, we're not going to feed them. Where if you had a savings account, like most people, well, I'm not even going to say most people, some people had. Get the bees off the top so we don't squish them. And with all this extra gas and food and everything else, it's kind of hard to still have a savings account. But anyway, back to the bees. The bees have a savings account. And that's what the pollen is for and the honey is for. I should have stopped. But if I don't write up there, sometimes I forget what I'm doing. So this is Sam, South Carolina Happy Bees. Y'all give us a thumbs up. Give us a comment. Be kind. Negative comments don't work. Positives work. The one about the communication to me was a positive. But y'all enjoy yourselves. Have a marvelous day and a marvelous rest of the week. And the bees and I, we're just going to keep on doing what we're doing. Y'all have a wonderful day. Oh, don't forget to thumbs up, share, subscribe, and y'all have a great